Hello and welcome to my channel. These are 13 things that are high maintenance. Ugh. In this video, I'm going to share with you some high maintenance habits that I do to be low maintenance. And some of them are just plain high maintenance that just I feel like make me look better or feel better or just make my life better. So I'll share with you what those are. They're in no particular order. Some have to do with clothing, some have to do with face and beauty, and some are done in the office. And I will share with you what those are as well. So without further ado, let's get started. This is one that I started about a year ago, and I love it. And I started curling my eyelashes. Sorry, not just curling my eyelashes. I go to someone and get them basically permed. Lasts for about 4 to 6 weeks. So this is definitely a high maintenance thing, but it definitely makes me a lot more low maintenance. My eyelashes just kind of stand straight out like this. So if they're not curled, they're just stick straight out. I also let her tint them, which I thought, what's that going to do? But I have found that right now with my basic everyday makeup production, I just use some concealer and I use some Miracle Balm, which I love. It's by Jones Road Beauty. It just kind of gives me a little bit of a glow. And then some lip gloss, and I don't even put anything on my eyes. I used to use mascara, but I have found that I just don't really need it. So this is one of those things, it doesn't last forever. It only lasts like 4 to 6 weeks, and you gotta do it again. And it probably takes about 45 minutes to an hour to do. But I've really liked it, and it's made a big difference in what I look like when I'm not wearing basically any makeup. Now, another one that I just added very recently is I let the same person do my lashes. I let her tint my eyebrows. And I was just kind of, my eyebrows, they're not as thick as they used to be. But anyway, she suggested tinting them. And I'm like, is that really gonna do anything? And she said, there's little hairs that are a lot lighter on me and probably a lot of people that if you tint them, it makes your eyebrows look thicker. And it does, it really does. So that made a big difference as well. The first day that you have it, you're kind of like, oh my gosh, this is way too much. Like I look like a Sesame Street character. But either I got used to it or a little bit of it kind of just faded off, which she said a little bit will after you wash your face and all that kind of stuff. But so far so good. I think this lasts a few weeks. Now I can't remember how long. I've only had it done once, but I am sold. I love it. I will probably keep doing this probably the same time that I do the lashes. That only took 10 minutes. Lashes take, again, like 45 minutes, maybe an hour. One thing I started doing that has made a world of difference in just, well, there's a couple things, but we'll start with one that has made a world difference in just me getting dressed and being able to find outfits and just easily know what I'm gonna wear, is I started taking pictures of my outfits in the mirror. And I ebb and flow with this. Sometimes I'm really good about it and sometimes I'm not. But whenever I have pictures on my phone, if I am in some kind of like, oh my gosh, I've got to go somewhere, or I'm just running late or something, I can kind of just look through my phone and it gives me some ideas of what I'm going to wear. Now, what I've also started doing that has immensely helped whenever I travel is before, like while I'm packing, I pack a few days before, so I'm not like rushed or anything, but I will take pictures of every outfit that I'm packing. If I have one shirt and it's gonna go with 3 bottoms, I'll take a picture with them all together. So whenever I get to where I'm going, instead of having to unpack my suitcase and remember what I brought and everything, I can just go through my phone and I can see what outfits I have in my suitcase without having to mess everything up. That has been a huge game changer, and it's also helped me pack more efficiently because I'm trying everything on first, as opposed to how I used to do, which was just throw in a bunch of tops, throw in a bunch of bottoms, and see what happens. Another thing I do that keeps me sane is not only do I go to bed very early, but I also get up very early. And this is not for everybody, because if you're not a morning person, it wouldn't be for you, but getting up really early, 5 a.m. Sometimes I'll even get up a little earlier than that just so I can have the time to do whatever I want to do. And that usually involves just getting my day together. My creative juices really get flowing in the morning. And it just really sets my day off to the right start. Sometimes I'll meditate, sometimes I'll journal, sometimes I get right to work if I'm really excited about a project or a video or something. And it just really sets my day off right. So when my kids get up, an hour and a half, 2 hours later, I've already conquered the world. I feel feeling good. I can be the best mom that I can be. So one thing I do every morning that is It's a low maintenance habit, but it has a lot of benefits. But what I do first thing in the morning is I drink AG1. So I've talked about AG1 a lot on my channel. It's just a daily habit that I've been doing for a long time now, and they are the sponsor of this video. AG1 is a research-backed daily health drink that combines 75 vitamins and minerals, prebiotics, probiotics, and a blend of superfoods like ashwagandha and functional mushrooms, all in one scoop. I've been drinking AG1 for about a year now, and I can definitely say that my digestion has improved, and it's just been a very easy habit to incorporate into my everyday life. AG1 supports a healthy gut microbiome. I actually got rid of a lot of random supplements when I started drinking AG1. So AG1 is also free of artificial sweeteners and has a slightly sweet, refreshing taste without being overpowering. I drink AG1 first thing in the morning while I'm watching the sunrise or, getting my creative juices flowing, and it just sets a healthy start to my day, but you can drink it at any time of day. You don't have to drink it in the morning. Now, I've really enjoyed making AG1 a part of my morning ritual, and it's been a very easy habit to incorporate into my life. And you can actually get started with AG1 for less than $3 a day when you subscribe. With the QR code on the screen, or you can use my link in the description box below. I will leave everything you need to know down there in the description box, and let's continue. I don't know what happened in the last few years, but I started getting a little bit of a chest wrinkle. Well, two, kind of just right here. And what I've been using for the last several years are these chest wrinkle pads. So I know that you can use those on your face, and I've done those before too, and I do feel like they work. Like the next morning, whenever you take the things off, it's like, oh wow, look, I don't have any wrinkles. But a couple hours later, they kind of just come back. But for some reason with the chest, well, actually not for some reason, I know why they work. The chest wrinkle pads, I have some from the brand Sayo, and I don't even wear them every night. It's almost like I have to just wear them every couple of weeks because one will start to kind of develop. I'm like, oh, gotta go wear my chest wrinkle pad. And I wear it whenever I sleep, and it just takes it away. So I guess I'm at the place right now where if I didn't do anything about it, I would develop some deep chest wrinkles. But since I'm actively doing something that fights it, and it prevents, because I'm a side sleeper, it prevents everything from squishing up whenever I'm wearing it, I haven't gotten any chest wrinkles yet. I think I'm just delaying the inevitable, but still, that's kind of the best we can hope for, isn't it? So recently, I was debating whether to put this in this video because I feel like the jury is just not out yet. I haven't decided if it was worth the money or not, but I'll share it. But I had microneedling done. It was microneedling something. I will put it in the screen or something. And I also had PRP done after it to help with the healing. But anyway, I had 3 sessions of microneedling done. You do them every 6 weeks so your skin has time to heal. And so what it's supposed to do is help to stimulate more collagen because you're putting damage to the skin, and it heals itself, creating more collagen in your skin. Now, I will say that it's supposed to, I think you're supposed to see the results maybe a couple months after. And my last treatment was, I think, 3 or 4 weeks ago. But it had very little downtime. Like the rest of the day, you are bright red. You look, you got sunburned. And she put a numbing cream on my face, so it didn't hurt at all. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, it was probably like a 2 or a 3. And with the numbing cream, so I would definitely highly suggest the numbing cream. And then I also got her to do the plasma something. I'm gonna get these words right. And she puts that on after, and it helps with the healing process. It did make my skin to where I can definitely notice it's not so dull anymore. It's not like shiny, glossy, dewy, 20-year-old self skin, anything like that, but it does just look a lot brighter and better and less dull and dry and flaky. But I guess what I'm wondering is, would I have gotten the same result from just a really good facial? I don't think so. I don't want to knock on this because I actually think that I feel like this might be one of the better procedures you can do, but it was just really expensive. I just feel like it was really expensive. So I'm just not really sure what I was supposed to expect. But anyway, I would love your comments if you've also done microneedling and how you felt about it. And if you felt like it worked, or if it did what it was supposed to do. It's a lot of money for, I don't know yet. I don't know. Jury is still out. I am very interested in getting Sculptra. So that's my next endeavor later on down the road. But I would love to know if you guys have tried any of those and what your experience was. And I know that talking about this stuff, it just opens myself up to so much criticism. I mean, just even being on YouTube in general does. I want to share some information because I do think this is helpful for other people. Whenever I want to do these procedures, I want to hear from people who have had it done. And so it would be better if we can all share this stuff without thinking that people are going to just jump on here and start criticizing everything to death that you're doing. Something I did over a year ago that at the time that I did it, I guess I didn't realize the full value of it, but I do now. And I got my colors done. I actually did a whole video about it. I'll put it up here and I'll link it below. But I got a professional to do it. And then I also went on to Fiverr and got someone just on the internet for like $15 to do my colors. And they actually came up with the same conclusion. But when you have it done by a professional and in person, you just get a lot more. You get a lot more and people, they can, they're looking at you in person. They can just tell you a lot more. It's a lot more informative. But if you wanted to quickly do this, you could just go onto Fiverr and get someone to do it there. But anyway, I did it and I still had the mindset of, I'm going to wear whatever I want. If I like the color, I'm going to wear it. If I don't, I'm not. But then I later realized that a lot of these like cool, very pale, cool colors just really don't look that great on me. But a lot of these warmer colors and like warm browns and, more neutral colors as well look a lot better on me. So I don't fully just strictly live by this, but there are certain colors that I just know really, like the powder pink that's really big for this spring. I just know it's just not my best color. So I just stay away from that one because there's a myriad of colors that are fine for me, but it does help when you're going shopping to be able to eliminate some things. And I've really enjoyed having this knowledge in my head. I've also enjoyed knowing that have more warmer, neutral to warm undertones. And so colors that are neutral to warm are just going to look better on me than something that's very cool. So that's something that can cost time and some money in order to get done. And then also just kind of feeling it out and playing around with some more colors and really getting an eye for it, but it's definitely worth it. Another very high maintenance thing that I have done that it's one of those things I actually wish I would have done it sooner. But I got laser hair removal on my upper lip, my underarms, and my bikini area. And it took me a long time to commit to this, but I had friends and people who were like, it is just not having to worry about this. Because I live in Florida. We're in bathing suits all the time in the summer in the pool and the kids and everything else. And, I have a hard time getting all like shaving under here really well. And then this, of course, is not very attractive either. So getting rid of that unwanted hair in those areas is just, I had heard it was just a game changer. And so I have used an at-home laser removal device and I loved it. It worked on my upper lip and I actually did it on my legs and I think I did it on my bikini area. The only thing about the at-home laser hair removals is that it takes a long time. Like you have to carve out an hour and a half, 2 hours once a week to just sit there and like laser your hair because it's not as fast. And if you don't keep up with it, like if you let too many weeks go by without doing it, it just comes back. And so I know that with professional laser hair removal, like in the office, you also have to do like maintenance laser hair removal. But from what I have heard from my friends and family that have done it, is that it's just a lot less maintenance. So I went the first time and doing my upper lip, my underarms, and my bikini area, I think I was in and out in like 20 minutes. I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I should do my legs. Now, it's a lot more expensive to do it in the office and to do it with this than it is at home. At home is a lot cheaper, but it just takes a lot more time. In the office is a lot more expensive, but you're in and out super fast. And right now I'm at the time where time is very valuable. And so that's just kind of what has worked for me. But I will say that not having to worry about shaving, whether you do it with an at-home device or in the office, is just, oh my goodness, it's amazing. It really is. One thing I started doing with my hair is, and it's made it just a lot better, but I noticed that after a while, no matter what shampoo I was using, and I've tried tons of them, but it doesn't matter what shampoo I'm using, but after a few weeks, maybe a couple weeks or so, it just starts to get to where it feels like it's not clean, or it's just like just heavy or like it's got gunk in it or something. And I don't even use a lot of hair products. Most days of the week, there's no products going into my hair. So there's no reason for it to have like this heavy kind of feeling. So what I do is I get these scalp scrubs, and I've tried a couple of them. I tried a really inexpensive L'Oreal one, and I've tried a more expensive, I forget the name of it, but they both work the same. So I think you can just get whatever scrub you want. I feel like in my experience, they didn't really, the really expensive one wasn't any better than the very inexpensive one. But I just rub it all in my hair before I wash it. And then I wash my hair like normal, put conditioner in, and it just makes it fluffy and clean and just so much better. So I don't know what happened because I've never had to do that in the past. But in the last couple of years, I've been doing that, and it's just really helped. I will link the one that I used below. I used one by, I think it was L'Oreal, and it works great. Another thing I do that takes a lot of time up front, but it pays off very much in the end, is I play dress up in my clothes a lot. And sometimes I don't feel like doing it, but maybe I have something coming up where I just really need to figure out what I'm going to wear. But once I start doing it, I get into it, and it turns out to be kind of fun. So I've recommended this on several videos, but if you've never done this before and you're just thinking, oh, I don't want to go put on things, I don't know if they fit, is it going to look like I gained weight or whatever, just trust me. A, you might actually have a lot of fun with it, but also B, you can really see some things in your closet that are just not working, that need to get out of your closet. And also you may find some things that really are working and that really do look good, and you kind of forgot about them, and you figure out how to wear them. So it just, lots of really good things can come from this, and this has really been a game changer. I feel like I do play around in my clothes pretty often now that I know the positive result from it. I do it quite often, and I highly recommend doing this if you've never done it. You basically just put things together that you think might look good, that you've never tried before, or that you haven't put on in a while, and just let your creative juices flow. This is one that doesn't have to do with spending money or anything like that. And I guess can you call it high maintenance? I guess you can, but I make sleep a #1 priority. My husband is the opposite of me. I mean, he will, even if he goes to bed at 11 p.m., if he was planning on working out the next morning at 5 a.m., he'll still get up at 5 a.m. and go work out. So he's only had like 5.5 or 6 hours of sleep because he feels like, gotta get to the gym, gotta go work out, and that's the most important thing. But I know, and he won't listen to me, I know that actually sleep, especially if you're a woman, it surpasses so many things. It's more important to have adequate sleep than it is to bust your butt at the gym. And, I'm not going to go into all the research and everything. I'm not a doctor. This is definitely something you could go down so many rabbit holes with. But a lot of the sleep experts and a lot of people who really study these kinds of things say that if you're not getting adequate sleep, it doesn't matter how much you're doing in the gym, because your body's not going to recover. Your body's still going to have more cortisol. It's going to have more stress hormones. I'm probably saying this all wrong, but it's just not going to do what you want it to do. If you're choosing between working out and getting enough sleep, you should probably get enough sleep. So I make sleep a priority, and how much sleep you need, it really depends on you, person to person. Some people can get away with 6 hours. I need 7.5. If 7, I'm pretty okay, but a good 7.5, 8 hours is, I'm really good. Another thing I do to my skin that's high maintenance, I just feel like every definition is high maintenance, but it does help me be low maintenance. But I get Botox, and I don't really get it that often. I probably get it twice a year, if you're being honest. But I've just realized that it makes my skin look better. I don't get a whole lot, and I've just kind of learned that I found a woman that I really like. She just does a little bit, because I'm fine with some wrinkles, but it somehow just kind of smooths everything out a little bit. I don't get it to where I'm like this, because there are some people that they will really they're like, you should have no wrinkles. And I don't really believe that. I'm like, wrinkles are fine, but I do want things to just I want to look the best I can. And so you have to go to someone who can really meet your needs. It's more about someone's skill level rather than the cost. I've been to a Botox party several years ago, and it turned me off of Botox altogether, because I went to a Botox party and this was the second time I'd ever done it in my life. And it was a dermatologist who did it, which I also learned it's probably better not to go to a dermatologist because that's just not what they do all day. It's better to go to someone who does Botox all day. But anyway, I had no wrinkle on my face at all. And I did not like the way I looked. I was like, oh gosh, I don't like Botox. So anyway, it took me a while before I tried it again. But anyway, I've just learned a lot since then. And now I do it twice a year. I'm probably going to start maybe doing it 3 times a year. But it is one of those things that, there's all kinds of hacks and like TikToks about how to get rid of wrinkles. And this is just like Botox and Botox in a bottle, but it's over the counter or whatever. I'm sorry, but in my experience and just even from everything I've read and researched, Botox is Botox. And I shouldn't say Botox. It's a neurotoxin. That's the right word. Botox is a brand. Anyway, but people know what you're talking about when you say Botox. Anyway, there's no cream or anything that's going to do the same thing as Botox. So I'm not telling you to go get Botox. I'm just telling you this is what I do, and I'm being transparent with you. So I totally hear you. If you don't want to go get Botox, I love it. We can all do what we want with our own selves. And I think it's great if you don't. It's fine if I do as well. But this is just what I do. So I would want to be transparent with you. I don't want you to think like, I would never want someone to say, oh, why does their skin look so good? And I'm doing a video like this and I'm not mentioning something that does have a real impact on like what my skin looks like sometimes. So anyway, I do think Botox is like, I don't know, it does help my skin look better. So that is one thing I do that's high maintenance that keeps me a little more low maintenance. Although that might be one of those things, it's just high maintenance. And lastly, of course, I use SPF, especially in the summer, but I use it every day. Winter, summer, spring, fall, whatever. I use a moisturizer that has an SPF in it because that is one of the things, like if you ask anybody with a medical license degree that does anything to do with skin and you say, what's the best thing I can do for my skin? They'll say, wear sunscreen. And this doesn't mean that you should never look at the sun or never go out into the sun and stay away. Like, yes, the sun is wonderful for you, but I live in Florida. And even dermatologists will say that they don't really worry about melanoma and skin cancers and stuff unless you live in Florida or somewhere that's you have the potential of getting a lot more sun exposure than you really need. So you probably don't live in Florida. You may not have to worry about that, but it's very important here in Florida that I wear sunscreen and SPF every day. And I do think that's very important because as I've heard a lot of other doctors say, it's a lot easier to prevent things than it is to try to correct them later on. I'm editing this video and I just realized I completely forgot to talk about my Halo hair extensions, which so many of you guys have asked for, and I feel like that fits in this video and you're probably wondering why I didn't talk about it. I just totally forgot. I'm so sorry. But real quickly, what I did to my hair is I have a Halo hair extensions, and I've tried all kinds of extensions before and they were just way too cumbersome for me to do, but this one's super easy. It does take getting used to, and you do need to go to a hairstylist to get your color matched. So here's a clip of what my hair looks like without the extensions. It's just I have very fine, thin hair. And then when I put the extension in, it goes like a halo, which I'll show you in a minute. It just makes it more full. There's no clipping involved. It basically comes like this, and you just put half of your hair up. You put this over your head like so, and then you put the rest of your hair over it and it hides the base. Really happy with mine. Again, it is kind of hard to get used to putting it in, but once you do, it's so well worth it. So I hope you like this video, and I hope it gave you some ideas for your own life. I personally love these kinds of videos. I love hearing what people do to just I just feel like the things we do behind the scenes really make it to where it's a lot easier whenever we do have something or we just to go about our day-to-day life. I feel like we put in the work in the beginning and put in the work behind the scenes. We're just better. We can just be better people overall. Of course, some of these things are just pure beauty related, but I think feeling good about yourself and like how you look and how you show up is also very important. So anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any high maintenance habits that you have. I'd love to hear them. I really, really would, especially if you have experience with like Sculptra and microneedling. I would love to know your experience or any of those kinds of things. I would love to know. Anyway, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.